All right, good to see everybody today. Let's come to a nice, comfortable seat. Starting out today, if you would like to use a block, if you have one handy, maybe even two. Sometimes block between the feet or even the thighs can be nice. So it just gives you a little more feedback. Completely not necessary. So if you don't have one handy or you don't feel like using that, no worries, you don't need to. Do peek to see that your knees are landing over your ankles, that your legs are about hips distance apart. You might scoot forward in your chair a little bit so you can really root down into your sit bones. As you press down there, you start to lengthen through the sides of your waist. And before we sit for a few moments, let's just give the shoulders a little roll out here. And you can kind of just pay attention to how they're feeling, to what's going on. We will be going into some just more shoulder stretching, shoulder openings. If you have a strap close by, that would be great. Let's roll forward here. Good. Couple more. And then we're going to roll back. And then really feel that it's like a cobra pose feeling in your upper chest. So your thoracic gently lifts up towards the ceiling. Your shoulder blades squeeze in and then down your back towards your sit bones. So you just feel nice and steady here. Chin is parallel to the floor. It might even feel like you're tucking it just slightly. And then perhaps you close your eyes here. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And let's sigh the breath out. Ha. Smooth, deep, full inhale. Sigh the breath out. Let it go. Ha. One more time. Fill up on your inhale and then just pause at the top. And then maybe see if you can sip in a little more air. And let the breath go. Ha. And then you're going to seal your lips. You're going to start to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. You might be listening to that sound of your Ujjayi breath if you're practicing that. So you're constricting the sides of your throat. You're kind of creating that sound that you get when you fog a mirror with your breath. Notice if your shoulders are wanting to help out here. They might be creeping up towards your ears. If that's the case, just soften them down. As you bring your attention to your breath, you're letting everything else kind of just fade into the background. Excuse me. There might be sounds happening in the room that you're in or outside the room that you're in. Let your attention come to your breath. Couple more moments here. Good. From here, gently blink your eyes open. And then let's just do a little neck work here. So you can continue to keep the blocks between your feet and thighs if that feels good. Sorry, I've got like a pretty nice little tickle going in my throat today. All of this wind is kicking up my allergies. If you're ready to get rid of the blocks, you can also do that. Both are good. But just sitting nice and tall, go ahead and drop your chin towards your chest. Right away, the shoulders want to help out. So again, just imagine that somebody's gently pressing down on them. And those shoulder blades kind of squeeze in towards each other and then release down towards your sit bones. As we drop the chin towards the chest, we start to kind of lengthen the back of the neck. You start to feel a stretch there. It can be quite intense, especially the first one of the day. So you do a little less if you need to. And you keep that breath smooth and steady. So the breath really kind of is like, it's a piece that weaves all of the poses together. It keeps us present in our yoga practice. From here, let's inhale, lift the chin. So it's just parallel to the floor. And then exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. So you start to feel a stretch on the left side of the neck. Can be quite intense. So again, do less if you need to, especially starting out. We'll visit all of these positions a couple of times. From here, let's start to tuck the chin. And that just might shift where you're getting sensation in the left side of your neck, that shoulder area. Breath smooth and steady. If you wanted to take your left fingertips, just release them towards the floor. It just is like using a little, your arm as a weight, gravity to intensify things slightly. You can always try it. You can always decide not to do it. So we're always making, little adjustments and modifications in our yoga practice. Every week, things look and feel a little different in our body for numerous reasons. Take that hand back to your thigh. If you took that variation, untuck your chin. Inhale up to center. And then let's just come back down the center again. Already, it might be feeling a little easier. You might not be there yet. That's fine. Just observing the sensations happening in your body, getting curious about what's going on for you. Consciously just allowing those shoulders to release down. You're still sitting nice and tall in your chair. Listening to that sound of your breath, that inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose. We're going to inhale, lift our chins. And then exhale, drop that left ear towards your left shoulder. So you start to feel that stretch to the right side of the neck. How is this different than the other side for you? It's the side that feels a little easier, things a little more constricted, tight, just noticing. And of course, doing a little less if you need to, backing out. Begin to tuck your chin slightly. and observe where the sensation shifts. Perhaps you want to release your right fingertips towards the floor, so it's kind of like a little counterweight. And just always remember, side to side, it can feel really different. So maybe it works on the other side and it doesn't on this side. That's okay. Poses don't need to look the same side to side. Let's bring our right hand back to our thigh. If you took that variation, lift your chin and then inhale up to center. And then just like a little vinyasa flow with the neck here. Deep inhale. Exhale, chin drops towards chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale up to center. Exhale, drop left ear to left shoulder. Inhale, center. And let's just do a few more rounds like that. So exhale, chin drops towards chest. On your inhale, you gently lift. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale up to center. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Good, inhale up. Good, so I'm gonna say do 3 more complete cycles. And you're just moving with your breath. So maybe you want to slow it down a little bit. Maybe it feels better to speed things up for you today. Just really tune in to what you need. And then just move really methodically with your breath, finding this nice little rhythm. This might feel kind of calming and meditative. Good, and then when you've completed 3 full cycles, just come back to your nice tall seat, that mountain pose. Good. And let's go ahead and find our strap. Again, if you are enjoying having the blocks between your thighs and or feet, you're welcome to stay there. If you've had enough of that, you can move them out of the way. So let's just do some of our shoulder flossing, shoulder humblers. You're gonna find your strap. You could also be using a scarf, a belt, like the arms of a sweatshirt. A lot of different things would work. You're gonna be going pretty wide on the strap. Feel those shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other, release down, really press into your sit bones as you inhale. Stretch that strap up and maybe pull it apart. And then this is the tricky part. Exhale, can you lean back with both arms at the same time? And that might be where you have to go a little wider. Inhale up to center. Good, and then exhale, stretch forward, and again, kind of really pull that strap apart. Inhaling up here. And then exhale, trying to evenly release those arms back. Good, inhale up to center. And then exhale, stretch forward. So again, continue here, this like little shoulder opening vinyasa. You're just moving with your breath at a pace that feels good. Several rounds. You might start to feel a little heat in your shoulder girdle. Even kind of like the backs of the shoulder blades where they kind of press in towards each other. So you take little breaks if you need to. As you start to warm up the shoulder girdle, maybe it feels like you can sneak the hands in a little closer. You can always unsneak them back to where they were if you need to. I'm pretty sure unsneak is a word. All right, let's just do a couple more full cycles here. This is kind of almost like a hurt so good sort of a thing. All right, so let's just finish. You can lay that strap or prop, whatever you're using, across your thighs. We'll revisit again. And then just give everything like a little shake out, whatever feels good. Might even want to shake the hands, the wrists. And then before we return to some shoulder work, let's just bring our hands to our thighs and start to make some circles. So coming into our Sufi rolls. So this really gets, you're going to feel this in the lumbar, the pelvic girdle area. You might feel it a little bit in your hips, your glutes. You could also be feeling this in the shoulders, the neck. Your circles can be big, they can be small. Let it feel pretty fluid. Nice. And then let's start to switch directions. Good. Start to make those circles a little smaller as you make your way back to a nice, tall, comfortable rooted Tadasana. All right, so let's take our strap and place it over our right shoulder. Before we come to some arm work, let's find a little hip opening. So a couple of options here. You might take your right ankle, cross it above your left knee. We don't want any sensation in the knee, so if you're feeling that, flex the foot a little bit, that can help. You could also take the variation where you just simply find external rotation in that right thigh. So both are good. They're both accomplishing the same thing. And before we add anything on to this, we're going to just take like a minute or two to be in this part of the pose, this hip opening. Starting out, it can feel really intense. As we sit in it for a little bit, maybe it feels like you want a little more. So if you're in this variation that I am now, you could take your right hand, use the strength of your arm to press that knee back behind you. If you are in the seated version, you can use the strength of your arm to help press that leg down towards the floor. And you might not need to do that at all. So for most of us, hips are pretty tight. There's usually a lot of sensation without having to do much at all. Let's do like a few more good breaths here. All right, so keeping your legs in the configuration that they're in, go ahead and inhale, stretch your right arm up. You're gonna spin that palm to face behind you. You can even take your left hand to help wrap the outer arm towards the inner arm. So you're getting internal rotation. Bend that elbow. Good, and then you might find your strap here. Good, take that left arm off to the side. Do a thumbs down. And then you're going to bend that elbow up your back. You're going to grab a piece of strap. And then you're really reaching that right elbow up towards the ceiling. And then you're pressing this left shoulder back. So the arms are doing two different things. You're rooting into your sit bones. And maybe using, without using your hand, just find that idea of, right thigh releasing down towards the mat or back towards the wall, depending upon what configuration you're in. Feel your sit bones. Nice deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, let's just do a little side to side. So leaning off to the left. It's going to feel weird. Inhale up to center. And then exhale, little side bend to the right. Good. Inhale to center. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, lean to the left. Definitely kind of different with the arms like this. Back to center on your inhale. Exhale, lean to the right. Kind of a little oblique work. Inhale, come back to center. And then as you exhale, you're going to twist your torso to the left. Let's release the arms, so stretch them out. And then you have your left hand behind you. Maybe you take your right hand somewhere on this right shin, to the sole of the foot, to the thigh, left thigh. Press your shoulders back. Think cobra pose in your upper body. Beautiful work. Breath smooth and steady. You might move towards bringing your gaze out over that left shoulder or somewhere in that vicinity. Couple more good breaths here. Really feeling those right ribs internally spiral to the left. Good. Take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, untwist yourself. Let's stay with this configuration with the legs. If you have your blocks handy, we're going to take a little forward fold here. So you could set the blocks up for your hands. You could also just simply place your hands anywhere on your thighs and then take a little forward fold. And you're going to find that this intensifies the hip stretch that you're getting in that outer right hip. So again, you're kind of like choosing your own adventure here. You only go as far as you need to get that sensation. Don't feel like you need to go further than that point. And it's going to look different for all of us. You can visualize your breath, especially on that exhale, going to that outer right hip area. Is kind of, creating a little space, combing out the tangles and those muscle fibers. Good. And then nice and easy as you inhale, you can roll up your spine. And then maybe you give the shoulders another little roll out here. Good. And then let's uncross this right ankle or bring the leg back to center. So finding your mountain pose. And we'll take our second side, and the same options exist. Just remember that your legs might look different on this side than they did on the other side. You can move that strap off to the left shoulder. All right, so finding that hip opening, whatever that looks like for you on this side, whether you're finding these warrior two legs or crossing your left ankle above your right knee. And again, if you are doing that variation and there is sensation in your knee, you're engaging the muscles, so flexing that left foot will help to protect your knee. And then right away, as you make your way into this side, get curious about how it feels for you. Is it about the same as the other side? Is it a little different? Just noticing. There's going to always be these subtleties happening. I think one of the great things about our yoga practice is it really does help us to refine our focus and attention and to get curious about things, to notice things. That mostly happens, with the gross shape, our bodies, but we start to take that a little deeper. So it's a muscle we train. Observe if your shoulders start to creep up around your ears here. So before we come and add the shoulder piece in, just make sure your shoulders are relaxing down. Let's go ahead and inhale, stretch this left arm up. And then you're finding that internal rotation. Use your right hand to physically, manually help you find that. Bend the elbow and you can find the strap there. You're really reaching that elbow up towards the ceiling. Take that right arm off to the side. Thumbs down. So externally rotating, and then reach back behind, bend that elbow, find the strap. Right shoulder head is leaning back. You might even be leaning your head into this left wrist, forearm area. Sitting nice and tall. All right, so we're kind of just keeping the legs in the same basic shape. We're going to take a nice deep inhale here, but exhale. It's like a little side bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, little side bend to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Nice work. Inhale back up to center. Exhale, we side bend to the left. Good. Inhale up to center. And then exhale, you're wrapping those left ribs to the right. And you might find as you do this, I feel like I'm getting a bigger stretch in that right shoulder, like I can lean it back a little more. I'm really trying to actively use all of those tiny little muscles in the side waist area to help wrap those left ribs to the right. Let's go ahead and stretch the arms up. Well, one up, one down. And then release hands down. So a lot of different places where that left hand might land, depending upon the configuration that you're in. Can you visualize in your mind's eye those shoulder blades squeezing in towards each other? As that happens, you're getting this lift of your sternum up towards your chin. So it's very much like cobra pose, even though we're twisting the rest of the spine. You might be moving to bringing your gaze out over that right shoulder. Keeping that breath smooth and steady. Even in this twist, it can feel really hard to fill up on the inhale here. Couple more good breaths. Good, deep inhale. As you exhale, just untwist. And then again, we're going to come into our forward fold, which is going to intensify the hip opening that you're feeling on this left side. So, it doesn't have to be very deep. Hands can just be resting on your legs or that shin. If that left ankle is crossed in front, maybe bringing your hands to blocks if you have those. You could also use your hands on a table or a desk or a wall in front of you. So lots of options. Wherever you're at, maybe see if you can drop your chin towards your chest a little bit. So you're rounding in that thoracic, that cervical spine. And then from here, slowly start to roll on up. And again, you can give the shoulders a little roll out. All right, go ahead and make your way back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Let's take the strap again and just place it over your thighs so you kind of have it handy. We're going to use it again for one more thing. But before we do that, let's have like a little palate cleanser. So we're going to do some of our half sun salutes. So again, blocks are really great for this. We all know these pretty well. So blocks on either side of the foot. It's just a way of bringing the floor closer. Find your nice mountain pose. So sitting nice and tall, rooting your sit bones down into that chair. And then from here, a couple of options. You can take your arms out and up. It might feel better to reach them forward and up. Both are really good. Sometimes that's dictated by the space that we're in. As we exhale, you can swan dive in, or maybe use your hands to help you roll in if you feel a little unsteady. Chin drops towards chest here. As you inhale, press into your block. So you could bring your hands to shins or thighs, extend your chest forward. This is like a cobra pose. Exhale, fold back in. Inhale, reach out and up. And then let's just add a little side stretching here. So as you exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale up to center. Exhale, side bend to the left. Good, let's do a couple more rounds just like that. Let it feel really good. So just finding a little flow here, which is always really nice, especially when we've been static in poses, so holding them. All right, so we're going to do one more to each side. Good, we reach back up here again. And then as you exhale, fold all the way in, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back into Uttanasana. And then rooting into your feet, your sit bones, take up space as you roll your way up. Reverse swan dive out. And then again, let's keep reaching here. Exhale, side bend to the left. Good. Inhale up to center. Exhale, we side bend to the right. Inhale up to center. Couple more each side. Exhale, side bend left. Good. Up to center on your inhale. Exhale, side bend right. One more round like that. Really trying to anchor into both sit bones. So that opposite sit bone of where you're leaning is always going to get a little lighter. Reaching back up here. As we exhale, we hinge forward, we fold in. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. And then root down, rise up. And this time, let's exhale, bring our hands together at our heart. Let's do just 2 more cycles like that, just classic sun salutes at your pace. You're always welcome to close your eyes here if that feels good and you feel stable and steady. Otherwise, you just keep your gaze soft and gentle. And you're flowing with your breath. When you've completed that second round, just pause, palms together at your heart. Allow your chin to drop towards your chest, so you're gently bowing your head. Eyes are closed, and you're just taking stock of how you're feeling, what's going on inside your body. Maybe slowing your breath down, stretching it out if it's sped up a little bit in those sun salutes. Gently blink your eyes open, release your hands down. All right, so we're gonna do a little something else with our strap. This may not work for everybody, but depending upon the kind of strap you have. I think, Scott, you have the loops in yours. So if you have loops that are shoulders distance apart, that can be where you put your hands through. You do have kind of a classic yoga strap with a loop. You're gonna go ahead and loop up your strap. And we're looking to measure it about shoulders distance apart, maybe slightly narrower than that. And again, if you don't have that, don't worry, you can use what you have. You'll just hold on to the strap again, you'll be much closer. It's gonna feel a little different, but that's absolutely fine. So if you do have the yoga strap, you're gonna just take it right below your elbows. And what I'm looking for is this idea of being able to squeeze out into something. And if you don't have that, you're just holding on to the strap and kind of pulling out. It's gonna feel a little different. It's nice like this because you're getting that feedback from the strap. All right, so go ahead and just let that go. We are going to, you can either stay here or maybe you extend your left leg to straight and you're just pressing into the center of that heel. So this is kind of like our crescent pose legs. And then go ahead and reach the arms forward, really press out into that strap if you have that set up, otherwise you're pulling apart. And then inhale, lift up. And so again, this is kind of just another great way to get into the shoulder girdle. Exhale, release down. You're gonna feel those shoulders get really warm really quick. We're gonna just do this a few times. Inhale, stretching forward and up. And as you exhale, go ahead and come forward. As you're lifting your arms, you might not get those wrists over your shoulders. You might be slightly forward. That's fine. If that's where your range of motion is, you can stop there. So let's just hold here for a couple of breaths. It is a lot of work. Good. Maybe bring your gaze up. Feel that sternum lift. Good. And then go ahead and exhale, release down. So I don't know about you all, but that really warms up my shoulders, my arms. I'm feeling it. So we're going to just move the block, or the strap rather, off to the side. Maybe it'll stay. And get that loop, and then we're going to find another twist here. So as you inhale, take the arms out wide. Let's exhale, a little twist to the right. Inhale, center. Nice. As you exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale, center. And then exhale, twist to the right. Really stretch out, expand, keep sitting tall, and then release your hands down. That left hand can come to the outside of your right thigh. It might even be resting on your left thigh. Just depends on how your body is feeling, how twists feel in your spine, in your torso. And then just taking some nice, smooth, steady breaths here. Perhaps bringing your gaze towards that right shoulder. You might even play with tucking your chin a little bit, see if that stretches into some interesting places in the neck. Deep inhale. Let's exhale. Unravel here, come back to center. And again, let's find a forward fold. So with this left leg extended straight, you're going to be feeling more of a hamstring stretch potentially. If it's really intense, again, you just stay pretty upright, but you might have those blocks to place your hands on. Little bend in that left knee too will take some of the work out of the pose if it's really intense. If you're wanting a little more, if this feels easier in your body, you can point those left toes up towards the ceiling. You can walk those blocks, your fingertips forward any amount. So a couple of ways to come out of this. You might just kind of roll out, so stacking your vertebra one on top of the other. If you want a little core work here, maybe bring your hands to your outer hip, so elbows squeeze in, and then with a flat back, press into your sit bones, rise on up, very nice. All right, so we'll take that sequence to the second side. You have that left leg extended, bend that knee. Again, side to side, things might look different. So you could definitely do all of the things from Tadasana. If you want to extend that right leg to straight, you're more than welcome to do so. We find our strap again. Good, so it goes just below your elbows and you're really pressing out, but then you're feeling the arm bones plug in to that shoulder socket. As you inhale, press out, press out, press out. As you lift up. Good, exhale, release forward. And then you're really squeezing out into that strap. Inhale, lift. And again, you don't need to get your wrists over your shoulders. If you're tighter in the shoulders, it's not going to happen. That's fine. Exhale. This is kind of like another kind of shoulder flossing in a way. Good, inhale. And then stay here, root into those sit bones, lengthen through the sides of your waist. Maybe you start to bring your gaze up. Keep that breath smooth and steady. You're definitely going to be feeling a burn in those shoulders, the outer upper arms. Very nice. As we exhale, we release down. Good, and then lose the strap. You can just set it off to the side this time if you'd like. Inhale, take the arms out and up. Good, exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the right. Good, inhale to center. And then we exhale, twist to the left. Really extend out, reach, root into your sit bones, and then release your hands down. And then you're really trying to generate this twisting action from all of these like little muscles on the sides of your body. And you're feeling that a little sense of cobra pose in the upper body, sternum lifting, shoulders pressed back. Maybe you move towards bringing your gaze out over that left shoulder, somewhere in that direction. Maybe you tuck your chin. Trying to fill up on your inhale. And then go ahead and inhale, lift your chin. Exhale, come back to center. And then we take our forward fold. So again, you might be pretty upright if your hamstrings are a little more open. Maybe you're bringing your hands to blocks. And then finally, just allow your chin to release towards your chest. So you're rounding in the thoracic, the upper spine, ever so gently. So a really big stretch in the belly of that right hamstring. Do less if you need to. Good, and again, options here. So you can kind of just roll up like a rag doll, stacking your vertebrae on top of each other. If you want a little core work here, hands come to your outer hips, elbow squeeze in. Lead with your sternum, keep your spine nice and long as you come on up. Beautiful work. Good, and then you can rebend that right leg if it was extended. So finding a nice mountain pose, and let's just move into our Viloma I breath. So our 3-part breath with our retentions. So allow your eyelids to close here. And take a smooth, deep inhale through your nose. Full, complete exhale. And completely empty out here. Squeeze the breath out, little pause. And then inhale 1/3 of the way up, just below your belly button, pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way up, loading ribs, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones, feel that lift of your sternum, little pause. And then turn the breath around, exhale through your nose. Couple recovery breaths when you get to the bottom. Good, deep inhale. Full, complete exhale. Inhale 1/3 of the way up, pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way up, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. And then slowly exhale the air out through your nose. A couple rounds of recovery breath. Good. Inhale. Exhale, empty out. Little pause. Inhale a third of the way up. Pause. Inhale another third of the way up. Pause the breath. And inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. And then slowly exhale the air out through your nose. And then just let all of that go. So allow your breath to just do its own thing here. It starts to find its own natural rhythm. And we move towards some semblance of a resting pose. So you might just be staying exactly where you're at. Just going to have a different feeling tone. You're going to make sure that you're not gripping or holding anywhere. You are always welcome to take like a modified child's pose. So hinging forward, resting your head on a chair, or a table, or a desk in front of you. You could always lay down on the floor if that's available. So coming into more classic Shavasana. And then we just surrender here for the next few moments. We soak up the stillness. We rest after working hard.